Right then, this is Topsy, and although she doesn't look much like this now, I've made it my mission to try and restore her to the best of my ability. I don't know much about boats. Well, I've surrounded myself with boats, but I don't know much about sailing. I don't know much about putting together a boat, let alone restoring and looking after it. So, yeah, that's what this mission's about, really. So, Topsy is 1960s 16-foot cruising dinghy, I guess you'd call it. The idea is to eventually camp on it. Yeah, she was built in St Just on the Roseland down in Cornwall. Her previous owners have looked after her for a good, I don't know, 30 years or something. They're just getting a little bit old. I'll put up some photos now. So it was put up on Facebook Marketplace and went over to have a chat, and sure enough they were keen for me to take her on and look after her. So yeah, this is my mission. It's hopefully going to get her out on the water with the boys, with my brother, my cousin, all my mates, and go for little camping trips and go spearfishing, fishing, maybe find some surf spots, who knows. But yeah, before all that, we got to get her sorted. Got to fix her up. So that's the plan. As you can tell, I'm not in Cornwall. I'm away for winter, which feels like treachery, but it's pretty nice. So looking forward to getting back to Topsy.
So Topsy's been kept in Penpole for the last however many years, and thanks to the guys at Butler's Boatyard, big up Ivan and Matt for helping getting Topsy out of the water. Obviously got around to the crane in the end, but it was quite a mission to get there. In a moment I'm going to show you getting her out of the mud, which was quite a mission, but had brother on hand to get me there.
Noah's come to help. We're all new to this, so we're trying some ancient Egyptian methods of moving Topsy. Quick one like that. Yeah. Nice. And do.
This is the damage we've done to the riverbed.
You done lucky job. We picked the worst day to do this. So master's down, and we got it to the waterline. That was a whole lot of work. Whether it was all worth it, we don't know yet, but hopefully the tide comes up that high. We'll see. She looks good though, see her angles.
So now that Topsy's out of the water and on the trailer, there's a few things I've got to think about. So earning money is obviously one of them. So just doing some odd jobs with a lovely lady called Brenda. She's got me working on her boat, doing some fairly basic bits. And then secondly, trying to figure out how to get her off the trailer, where to keep her, how much I should be paying, and if I can do work on my boat where I keep her. So it's been some thinking time.
This amazing view, and yeah, it comes up here, lots of people.
So managed to find myself somewhere. I was recommended this spot by someone that had found a little boat themselves and done it up here. It's a little equestrian centre just out of Falmouth, run by a guy named John. Brilliant guy, been super relaxed with it so far. But yeah, it's got electrics. That's kind of all it's got. It's got a hose pipe nearby, but he's allowing me to work on it as long as I don't make too much of a mess. Off the back of that, the first thing I did was made a mess and stripped all the paint down. This was after figuring out how to get her off the trailer, which was a bit of a mission, but we got her off, and she's on blocks and little triangle legs, whatever you call them. But yeah, so stripping off the paint to figure out what's lying underneath it and see if there's any big problems to fix. There are a few that we saw earlier on while checking her out. Oh yeah, this is the mum. She's going to crop up a bit in the video. She couldn't keep her nose out of it, so I was more than happy to let her help, and she was excited to help. Yeah, big up the mum. Keep your mums around. They're pretty good. In the meantime, here's some time lapse of satisfying paint stripping. while you've got my crappy out of tune improvised electric guitar. So enjoy that. While I was in the spirit of paint stripping, thought I'd sort out Topsy's little sign. Stripped back the old varnish, gave her a lick of paint and varnish, and she looks alright. So throughout this boat restoring venture, I thought it'd be wise to actually get out on the water. So met a nice bloke named Mike, and he's got a classic gaff-rigged boat made in the Isle of Wight, and yeah, went out racing a couple of times and figured out sailing a little bit. Oh yeah, and this is my brother Noah. You'll see him about a little bit, sweetheart.
Oh hey.
Collection of wood filler and epoxy and some marge. So after Noah had kindly sanded down the hull, we got onto some epoxy. This is just adding some international epoxy resin, 2-part stuff. Yeah, pretty seaworthy. Trying to find little holes and any little indentations and stuff where she's not looking too fair. So trying to smooth her up really.
Yeah, it's actually quite cool.
Once again, I'm not a boat builder. I don't really know what I'm doing or the order in which to do it in. So whether this is the right thing to do right at this stage, who knows, but we're going.
I'll be your friend. I'm bound for the happy land of I'll walk and talk and ginger blue, double trouble. I'm bound for the happy land of Cain.
So as mentioned, I got a good few boaty people around the place, like Kyle, who's working on his own boat right now, helped me with this next step. So there's areas in the planking where the seam has dried out and the planks have shrunk, leaving a complete gap. You can see light on the other side there, which means it can't be corked or filled with cotton or anything. Which means we've got to router this section out so we've got a straight edge, and then do something called splining, which is where you basically then fill that straight router divot, or whatever you want to call it, that cut, with a piece of wood. So just put up this little batten to guide the router around so we can get a nice clean cut before we put the splining in.
Oh, cheers. Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Taylor. Hello, Taylor.
Take that quite less. I can come back on the second Splining. So we've routed out the worst sections.
which are too big to cork. So we're gonna have to fill them with some either fir or pine, something coniferous, so that it swells at the same rate as the pitch pine planking. That's the plan. There we go, got a bit of the splining in. Pretty bodge clamping job. I was doing a video, Mum. Anyway, got the first bit of splining in. We've epoxied it in there. Don't know if that's the right call. Maybe wood glue would have been the one, but we've epoxied and then got a pretty bodge set of clamping going on, if you can even call it that. But it will hold in there, and it doesn't really matter too much about how far it's pushed in there or how it's held. It's just kind of more top to bottom that it needs to be secure, which I think it is. But yeah, fingers crossed all dries well.
Now I know people will say that folks won't do any kind of project these days without having a camera pointed at them and someone to watch them do it, which I totally agree with, but here I am. It was not my intention to make a video out of Topsy, but more to experience the ocean from a different perspective compared to usual. The videos are also just a creative outlet to meet a wider community of boat folk like myself. Also, just being a nice thing to reminisce on down the line. Now that it's dry again, got the chance to do some more epoxying. Fortunately, Noah's helped me. There's thousands of little indentations and little screw heads that need covering just to get a nice and fair, but it kind of goes on and on. Gotta know when to call it quits. Now I'm aware she looks a little bit like a patchwork quilt at this point. It's a bit of a shame to cover up some of the wood, but when it does come time to painting, it's worth filling in all these little holes so she looks fair and the paint job looks nice.
As you can see, she's dried up pretty nice, and she's well in there. So gonna take the plane to her now, get her all flush and give her a sand. Yeah, it's a matter of doing a bit more filling, a bit more sanding, and then ready to prime. So get in there, slowly but surely. After that job of planing away at the hull, we just got some sanding to do. So here we go. So all that splining's been sanded down. She's looking good. Obviously there's those other bits of damage which need sorting out down there. But I'm happy with where she's at. That's going to get corked in there. Yeah.
So, mixing up the primer. You got Primacon. I've just been recommended this. I don't really know much about it. But that's what we got. It's nice and shiny. Mixing just with a bit of thinners. I'm aware you should normally use the Primacon special thinners. I don't entirely know why, but I've done half the boat already, which I'll show you later, but this so far is doing the job, but we'll see if that is the case when it dries. But yeah, we're going to mix up some more and do this side of the boat, so do a little time lapse or something. Kind of like this. With winter fast approaching, I was hoping to get this first layer of primer all sorted before myself, my brother and my cousin all get away for a little Indonesia surf trip. Here's a couple of the highlights on that. Well, that more or less wraps this one up. I've left Topsy wrapped up in some tarpaulins and try to keep her as dry as possible. But I've just sent over my brother and my cousin to go and check on her and see if she's doing alright. So here's what they've reported.
So while Finn's away living his best life, we've uncovered the beast. A little damp on the inside, but no puddles. Pretty okay, but we do want to try and stop it pooling. So what we've done is just peel back the tarp, give it a little once over. A bit more moisture than we anticipated, but that being said, we've had a very, very wet winter.
Oh yeah, quick pause. This is my cousin Luke. He's come to help out with the next stages moving forwards. Hopefully try and get Topsy on the water.
So the technique with this sponge at the minute is just to get right in at the back where there's a little gathering of moisture. Just get right in there. Use this very high-tech sponge to get up all the moisture. Like that. A little fold over is always nice. And then like effective. That's what I'm talking about. And overall, the amount of water that got in wasn't that much. The inside of the boat is still in good condition. We soaked it all out, all the water's gone, and it's nice and dry in there. We've also moved some of the wood that we installed in the middle into the front part of the boat, so it's all sheltered now. And, it's all good, it's all good. We're set.
Well, that brings us up to date for this episode of whatever you want to call this. We've still got lots to do. Still got some caulking, some scarfing of planks to do, some painting of the hull, and do some anti-fouling as well. But that more or less should wrap it up for the hull of Topsy. Then it's the fun stuff of sorting out all the framework inside and yeah, reapplying all the good stuff. I don't know. So yeah, lots to do still, but I'll probably leave that one about there. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and yeah, come back for some more. No pressure, but yeah, cheers for doing all that. See you in a little bit.